Trick Trades, trade recap, and lesson for this evening for Monday, December 2nd. Beautiful way to start the week and the month. Took uh, three trades. So working the chart, they are separate trades, but I'll explain that here in a second. We really wanted Qs. I wanted Qs a couple of ways. So what we originally wanted here on Qs was a pullback into the previous close. Now that didn't happen. We had a strong market and it shot through. So then what we were looking for was a nice pullback into this level. And this level is an upper trend level. Now, we didn't get that, but what we did get was SPY. SPY was obviously very strong, and we were looking to take this long up to this upper trend level. Now, I didn't know if it was going to quite make it there or not, but it would probably, the odds dictate that it would at least try for it, and it did. See, one of the big problems before we get into the actual trade here is a lot of traders are having a tendency to go short into this market for typical dumb money reasons, which are because the market is up. But what they're not realizing and what they're not taking into account is although the market may be ready to come down, it won't be able to because there are so many people looking at this, piling in short. And I'm not talking about on small account perspective. This is where a lot of retail traders that are just starting out, they really kind of fuck up. They start looking at things from their small account perspective, where you have to think a little more macro, a little more bigger picture, where there's a lot of bigger retail accounts that are starting to pile in short, and that's what creates squeezes. And that's what happened on Qs. Now, I warned members to absolutely stay away from Q short. Now, there were opportunities from a day trading perspective to be able to get out. Once it kind of topped out, it did pull back a little bit, pull back about a point and a half. It's more than enough, especially the way that we trade options to make money. Even when it peaked out, came right into all-time highs. So all-time highs was right here in this area. It barely pops through. You could have worked it, but that's a real slow, long, drawn pullback. It's not going to work out nicely, especially for options. By the time you get down here, you're probably only looking at maybe making about a 15, 20% gain, which for holding for multiple hours just isn't worth it. But to get back to SPY and why I wanted to go long into this, the very first trade that we took, and I'm going to explain because I don't like when if you're very new to this and you're watching and you're seeing my entries and I'm taking a very quick entry on that first candle, if you're doing that as a beginning trader, you're playing with fire. Okay, the reason why I can do that is because number one, I'm working a much larger position size. And let me explain the reason why I will start in. So the market opens up right here and it washes. I'm looking to acquire a fairly large position size. I'm looking to acquire, hundreds of contracts potentially in any given trade. So on my first entry, I'm not nearly in full size, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it, and I'm actually wanting this to not stop here. I want it to keep coming down so then I can acquire a position. But if you're trading a much smaller account and small size, you should be waiting for that. Or if you're prepared and you're okay with getting that first initial early entry, you have to be prepared for it to come down. When a lot of new traders first start getting into this, they're not emotionally inept or equipped to handle these types of positions that do want to come down and potentially even break a level. Now, just because it breaks the level doesn't mean the trade's over. You have to give risk on top of that. So on the very first trade, although it's a quick entry, and that's why I don't like overly talking about these trades that I take that are on first candle of the market open, those types of executions, because I don't want new traders doing that. What you should be doing is waiting for it to properly set up. And all of what I just said there, long story short, was mentioned in Trick Trades. The service that I run on screen share, it was mentioned that, today is a day that we really need to let these things set up. And we have multiple setups here. So the very first trade executed, pay myself. That's the entry here, payments all the way up. And then the secondary trade was down here when it came into the opening price, right here, right at the low of that red candle. Now, I'm okay with it coming down further, same as before. So as it comes down and washes in right here, right into the previous close. Now, it didn't touch it, but that's the secondary entry. So that's the entry here into the previous open. And then that lower entry right here is into the previous close. I wait for targets to enter. And then once it starts coming in, I paid myself. Now, the next one down, I started in here, right around here, and then added into the lows as it actually came into the previous close. So 3 separate trades, all a part of the same idea. And ended up being a really nice day, locking in $4,091 on this one stock and one trade idea. Although it's 3 multiple trades, it's still the same idea. So I just wanted to also kind of rehash what I was talking about at the beginning of this. Don't just be shorting markets because they're up. You got to start thinking a little more larger scale. And when we have a potential, well, right now we have a positive catalyst. We have a new administration coming in that's going to be really cleaning up the economy and everything else. There's a lot of changes happening. There's a lot of optimism going on right now. And right now, that is making the market go up, just like the very first time he got in. Okay. That's why the market ripped the way it did. So whether you like the guy or not, it doesn't matter. He is good for the economy. And so that's why it's continuing to go up. There's that part of it, and you have people attacking short that aren't recognizing that catalyst. Now, I will say there is a negative catalyst that is looming, and there is a way to tell when it's going to happen. Just like I've been able to tell for every single major market pullback or crash in the last 11 years of doing this, I've been able to nail within the first the about a few days of the actual top, the peak getting put in. And that's not luck. That has nothing to do with luck or being predictive. It's nothing to do with that. A lot of people think, oh, you're just predicting. No, 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 no. What people miss is there's signs that you can look for. Once you see smart money exiting, you have to remember, just like I've said before, the market is manipulated. The market is rigged. That's something that people like to say, but they don't do anything about it. See, if you know that the market is rigged and you know that the market is all designed to work against us, then you should embrace that. You should know that the smart money, these major hedge funds and banks and everything else, they're privy to information that we don't know of. Okay. They have people on the inside of the government, everything. So when there's that much money at stake, believe me, they are involved. So right before any major negative catalyst, whether it be that last bullshit virus that we had and everything else, the US China negotiations going south, all of that, they're aware. And you can start seeing smart money starting to get the hell out of the market. They start exiting. And when you start seeing that, you know that a potential negative catalyst is right on the horizon. It's about to happen. Now, if you want me to do a video on this and go into much further detail, I'm more than happy to do it. So with that said, folks, I'm going to wrap this, but keep in mind, Tricktrades right now, we're doing our one sale out of the year that we do. We value our education. We're not a service to do a million and one of these stupid little sales that people do with their services. I don't do that. I do it once a year. We take pride in our education, and you can receive right now 30 to 35% on subscriptions as well as digital education. So go check that out. If you want to learn to become a professional day trader in a consistent capacity, come to tricktrades.com and we will see you guys there. Adios.